What if Deku had the power of Sugu Geto? Or just Geto? In this what if, I'm going to show you what happens if he had that power. Or just whatever I wanted. Me. When it was time for him to... As we know, he was quirkless. So let's see what happens when he met his friend. Kanchan, look. I hate doing that voice. I'm just gonna call him Bakugo, I don't care. Bakugo, look. Then Bakugo started talking. Hey Zuko, look. He showed his explosions off. I got my quirk yesterday. It was explosions. Ooh, that's so cool. What quirk did you get, Izuku? Oh, I actually didn't get one. You don't have anything? Ha! As he continued to mock him, Izuku saw something, only for a second. What he saw looked like big centipedes trying to climb up a tree. When Bakugo noticed that he wasn't paying attention to him, Bakugo got upset and "Pay attention, nerd!" Then he blasted Izuku with an explosion, sending him backwards. What the... When he looked back, he didn't see them. What's the matter, nerd? Nothing. I got an idea. Why don't I start calling you Deku, huh? It means useless. What? But that's not nice. Izuku stuttered. Oh, who cares? Not like you're gonna do anything. He walked away. Izuku looked back at the tree. He saw them again. He saw the centipedes trying to climb up. When he looked up there, he saw a kid just laying on the roof. On the tree. You can tell, but if Izuku looked around them, he could see a normal centipede. And the kid looked like he was scared of it. It was clear that he couldn't see the big centipedes, but he could see the small one. Izuku thought, if he can't see them, then what are they? Izuku felt a pull in his mind, telling him to point his hand and try to connect to them. He put his hand out and tried to bring them to him, but instead, they just started to swirl into one ball. What the... He looked at it, wondering what it was. Then someone else told him to swallow the... And since this is going to be Kid Izuku, I'm going to say the thing's the size of a marble. And he swallowed it. He can felt a surge of energy. And he felt stronger somehow. Would you look at that, he said. Guess that's what I can do. Devour whatever those things were. Izuku grew a smile on his face. I wonder what else I can do. This will be fun. As he was walking home, he saw different things from all different creatures all over. What he saw strangely was something that looked similar to a puppet but was still alive. What he saw was this. I say kind of like a puppet because look at her head. Looks like a puppet. But she was just sitting down. She noticed that Izuku was able to see her. She tilted her head and just stood there. Izuku could tell she was like those bugs. So he pointed his hand at her again, but instead, when she started to spin and turn into a marble, she burst into blue flames. And tried to attack him. He summoned these. He used them as a defense and started to swarm that creature, or that girl, or whatever it was that he was fighting. It was clear that no one could see what was happening, so he just stood standing against the wall, looking around, acting like he was happy about something. No one really surprised that, but because he was only 4 years old, so they just assumed that he was happy about his quirk. What they couldn't see was the battle. Anytime she tried to attack Izuku, the bugs continued to block. Eventually, they started to surround her and actually started to do damage. She eventually stopped fighting back. Izuku almost lost half of those critters. There was about 150 of them. He lost about. Give me a sec. He was able to defeat her, but lost 70 to 75 of those things. But he saw it as a lose-win situation. He lost things, but he grabbed something stronger. As again, she was only slightly bigger than the marbles. And these are like grade. And these insects, I'm gonna say, are grade 3. While she is special grade. Because again, she's like a vengeful spirit, I believe. So yeah. Now with that, Izuku started to head home. He couldn't understand what was happening, but he was okay. He was happy that he had power, but he needed to figure out how to correctly use it. And what were those things that he could see that no one else could? And just for the heck of it, I'm saying that Izuku's the only one that could see those things. So yeah. That's why there was 150 around one kid. Because no one was there to deal with them before. During the years, Izuku caught a lot of things. Some between special grade and some other grade cursed spirits. One of them wasn't really that big of a cursed spirit, but he saw it more as inventory. That was the inventory curse. He saw it just crawling around. He saw that it was able to devour an entire curse. Basically one of his centipedes that he just made it go in front of it. Instead of going around, it devoured the centipede. He can tell it was destroyed. So he decided to take it, seeing how it could basically hold anything. Izuku got a wide collection of creatures. Some from the shows, some from fan-made stuff. Oh, and just to be fair, I am not the owner of any of this. I just found it to be cool to use them. Yeah. So, yeah. He continued to grab many different curses. Some were more helpful to his own being than helpful to battle. Some were for battle, some were for support, and some were for defense. He discovered that his technique can increase depending on what he does with those things. Sometimes whenever he comes past one, he decides to destroy it instead of collecting it. Now we're gonna go into to the last day of, I believe he was in middle school at the beginning of the anime. Yeah, I believe so. So while that happened, Izuku continued to, well, even though no one else could see, he has got a wide arsenal, And while his body doesn't look like he's been training, he has. He's got pretty good at using a staff that he called Playful Cloud. Give me a sec. Now we're gonna go into school year. The teacher came and said, "Okay, everybody, sit down. We're gonna write down what you want to do in the future." Everyone in the class groans. He tosses the papers up in the air and says, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I know you all want to be heroes." Everyone in the class starts using their quirks, except for Bakugo. What they didn't notice is that Izuku sent out something to do something to those who use their quirks. He sent out these things to slightly bite those who use their quirks. By the time they bit down, the teacher already told them to stop, so they thought that they turned off their quirks. Now, fun thing I'm gonna use those bugs for, even though most of the time I saw pretty useless things in that class, I saw one quirk that could be useful. Let me show you. Right here. He saw someone with a pretty good wind quirk, so he sent out a bug to bite him. Let's see, could I pick anything else? Oh, fire. He also used the bug to bite her as well. Now I bet you're wondering, why would he use his bugs to bite his classmates? It's because those insects were made of the human fear of losing their power. That's right. From the few that know All for One, they actually were able to create two bugs that were based off All for One. What he did was send out one bug to bite the two classmates, and another to bite him to give him those quirks. It's basically a power to take basically the curses take a quirk from someone, then give them to him. So yeah. Now, why would I have him take a wind and fire? Simple. We know how strategic Deku can be normally, and I just gave him curse manipulation. So of course it makes sense that he's going to be even stronger than he would be normally. So, what did I do? I gave him two very powerful quirks in my opinion. Because while we never saw them do anything, they were good. So, let's go back to the main story. Let's see. Oh, it seems like two students here want to go to UA. One, Bakokatsuki, as the students start to ramble about, oh yeah, it makes sense because he has a powerful quirk. Ha, yeah. Indeed, don't book me in with all these losers. They'll be lucky to get a sidekick as a stupid D-lister. Huh? You think with that weak cock skate? I don't think. I know. Then they all start getting upset, and it seems like one Izuku Midoriya. Then the class started to burst into laughter. Him? They were all laughing, and Baku got upset. Deku. Once he started to go to Deku's seat to try and hit his desk with his explosions, before he did that, Izuku leaned back in the seat to jump out of the way of that attack. Everyone thought like it hit, so they didn't say anything. But they were surprised to see him just standing. Now, again, they didn't see him attack. The attack hit, so they thought the attack hit, so yeah. How dare you stand up to me, you stupid nerd. You're nothing. Yeah, I hear you talk about that all the time. You mocking me. Maybe. Okay, everybody, settle down. Now, it went on for a normal school day for them, but Bakugo's anger continued to manifest. But for some reason, she didn't create a curse that Izuku was hoping for. Still, I know they're made from negative emotions, but he still doesn't release any. Why? He thinks to himself. Whatever. When class gets over, he goes to grab his notebook because he still makes hero notes, just not as many as the original. Now, when Bakugo tried to explode it, it seems his hand was grabbed, by something, but he couldn't see it. What the? He said. And seemingly the book floated to Izuku. But what he did know is that his arm was grabbed by this creature. It shifted this arm, like the one here, turned it into a normal arm to grab Bakugo's arm, and use his other one to grab the notebook and give it to Izuku. After that, it went back into a black puddle which no one could see. How did you do that, you stupid nerd? That's for me to know and you to never find out, Izuku said. Don't look down on me! As Bakugo started to run towards Izuku, Izuku simply just slapped Bakugo in the face because, well, think about it. Bakugo always has his arms far away from his face, so I just thought it would be funny. So yeah. Let's see. What else did I do? After that, Izuku started to leave the school and is now heading home through the bridge. Simple as always, he says. Can't think of anyone but himself. Then Izuku heard something. Sound like sloshing. What now? He says to himself. Doesn't seem like anything. So then he just starts going back home until a manhole cover blasts out of the spot where it's supposed to be and reveals the sludge villain. If you watch My Hero Academia or even anything human, you should be able to see it because it's like the first villain we see. Sorry, kid, but I need your body as a meat suit, he basically says. Once he tried to grab Izuku, he seemingly just phased through him. That was because Izuku used the abilities of another curse of his. It was this curse. This curse was made by the human fear of just disappearing. But after being caught by Izuku, instead of just phasing anything out of existence, it can phase things through others. But it can still phase things out of existence if Izuku allows it. Basically think of Mirio's quirk, but boosted. But unlike Mirio's quirk, it can phase others with it, which is how Izuku phased through the sludge villain. What the? Some type of phase quirk? No, something far from it, Izuku says. Don't play smart with me. As the sludge villain tried to do it again, but seemingly just doesn't work. Anytime he came close to Izuku... Pause it for a sec. Okay, I am back. Just need to take care of something. So now where was... oh yeah. The such villain seemingly could never get his hands on Izuku. Stop using that power, brat, he says. Okay. He then turned the curse he was using back where he grabbed it and instead pulled out the weapon known as Playful Cloud. The reason why he would pull this out is because while no normal weapon can hurt the sludge villain, a weapon imbued with cursed energy can. Best way I can describe it is if you try to hit something non-solid, but if you were to imbue cursed energy in it, once contact is made, it stops being a liquid and temporarily turns solid for contact. That's the best I can describe it. And that's what happens. So, Izuku hit the sludge villain. You would think that something like that's going to... It made contact and the sludge villain backed away. What the... Oh, come on, there's still more! He started to wail on the sludge villain. Basically, anytime the sludge villain tried to back away, it ended up getting hit by another angle. Because the Playful Cloud is a... No. Because the Playful Cloud is a 3-section staff. So yeah, making it pretty difficult to avoid it. Huh. Look at that. Someone that tried to defeat me ends up getting defeated by me. Compared to the other things I fought, this one's weak, he thinks to himself. But then he hears a booming voice. Have no fear, I am here. Don't like saying that. As All Might finally arrived, he says, he appears and saying, Now, show me where the... Huh? It seems you already took care of the villain. Mm-hmm. Oh. Well, good job, young one. Thanks. Hey, All Might. I have a question for you. Could you be a hero without a club? Well, he thinks about this, and yeah, the answer is gonna be like canon. So you're just like all of them. He then seemingly just puts the Playful Cloud near his head like that, and he used a black hole to summon the inventory curse. To All Might, it just seems like it disappeared. What? I thought... I never said I was quirkless. I asked, could a quirkless person... Seems like you're just another one like that. Wait, I didn't... Before he can say anything, Izuku started to leave. Using one of these things. Yeah, I couldn't find a picture without these two on it, so yeah. Oh, what have I done? All Might thinks to himself. I gotta... Hopefully I see him again. As All Might puts the sludge villain in his pocket. And jumps away. With Izuku on this, he thinks, somehow you were. Whatever. As it was finally time. When Izuku was heading home, he noticed an explosion in the back. Huh? He started to fly towards this, but he started to land before anyone could notice he was just floating. Because again, people can't see it. And he realized that when he put one of those things near his mother, but she didn't react. Whoa. Seems like All Might failed to keep the sludge villain at bay, he says, as he finally landed. As you can see, it was Baco inside. Huh. Would you look at that? The Almighty Katsuki Baco captured. He started to walk towards the villain as the heroes tried to get him to stop. Kid, wait, it's too dangerous. Izuru just glared at them, telling them to shut up. You're doing nothing here. We don't have the... I swear, if you say you don't have the right crux, I'm hitting all of you into a wall. There is no reason for anyone to suffer like this. Saying you don't have the right crux is bullshit. If you have the power to even be called a hero, then you should learn how to deal with certain situations. As Izuku was starting to walk out, people could actually see what he was doing this time. As this time, he was using a lot of energy. And I'm saying, if he uses a certain amount, they are visible. And this time, he releases what they see as like a rainbow dragon and a woman in a big coat covering her mouth with 2 scissors in her hand. He sent the dragon out. Seemingly, every time it made contact with the wall, it just phased through it. And the woman just stood next to Izuku doing nothing. When it was finally near the sludge villain, it bit down and just seemingly phased right through the villain and grabbed Bakugo, returning him right next to Izuku. Then after being caught, would you look at that? Yo, my Bakugo Katsuki need my help. I didn't need your help. That before he can finish, everything around turned blue. Seemed like time stopped. It looked like the sludge villain was about to actually make contact with Izuku, but he couldn't move forward. And then the person right here started to walk forward. Eventually, the hair moved all over, revealing the multiple eyes and a slit mouth. It was the Japanese horror slit mouth woman. Of course, I am honestly not that well versed in that Japanese mythology, but I know a bit of it. Everyone was scared to see it there, including the sludge villain. But unlike the Japanese mythology where you have to say so, this is a completely different one. You'll see. It's the Slit woman walked in front of the sludge villain and said, "Am I pretty?" He said, so, knowing that this would, but instead it just angered her. Wrong answer. As she then threw 2 scissors which turned humongous and pierced the sludge villain. What? But that's... Everyone could see that Izuku was still moving. As the woman threw more scissors, continuously piercing the sludge villain. What the... He tried to hit her, but anytime it did, he tried, she instantly appeared next to him by slashing him with scissors. What the? But that's how you're supposed to answer. Yeah, that's why I changed it. What? You really think I would use something that everyone knows about in mythology? Nope. I changed it. I made the answer simple, but one someone would never expect. After all, I can't allow my weapons to be used such irresponsibly. What, so you... Correct. I summoned her. Ah, brat! Then he tried to attack Izuku. When that happened, 4 scissors were instantly plunged into it. 1 in each eye, 2 in the side, seemingly cutting the thing into 4 pieces. It finally laid there, a puddle of pure sludge. And then everything stopped being blue. And the words Bakugo were about to say before he was frozen stuck in his mouth. And then a black puddle appeared underneath her, just like the puddle that summoned the dragon and her. Well, that was interesting, he said, as he started to walk away. The heels tried to get to him, but he instantly looked at them. If you say one negative thing, there will be consequences, he said. And it didn't sound like a threat. It sounded like he meant it. So they didn't do anything, and he just walked away. All Might there was shocked. That was... What is this? How? When they see that what they noticed was the sludge villain was slowly reformed. While it was cutting through and the eyes were destroyed, which Izuku originally thought, he could tell by the slight energy he left behind, he was reforming. He started to walk back there, but everyone noticed that the sludge villain was reformed. What the? And then his left hand blew a powerful wind, and his right blew a powerful fire. Once the fire and wind connected, it increased an inferno which burned the sludge villain into nothing. No remains. There, he said with that was the finality. Stupid thing should have stayed down, he said, acting like the sludge villain wasn't human anymore. Even the healers were shocked by this. Even All Might himself. He just ended the thing. Ended the villain. Why would he? Bakugo was the most shocked out of everyone. Because he remembered Izuku trying to be hero. And yet, he killed something. He killed someone. What the? He said. Oi, deku! Everyone looked at both Bakugo and back at Izuku. What do you want, Bakugo? What the heck was that? None of your business. What do you mean? Why are you looking down? By the time he finished saying down, a massive killer intent was released. Don't you dare finish that. You always say that, and yet you have no proof of it. When we were little, I looked up to you. And now, all you say is, do I look down on you? You are truly a disappointment, Bakugo. As Izuku left out of their sights by turning the corner. Now, this was actually being recorded, so everyone saw it. Both Bakugo's mom, Yue, and Izuku's mother saw it. Once Izuku finally got home, because this time All Might didn't interrupt his walk home, and Bakugo didn't come to say he didn't need his help. Now that was, I'd say, pretty good for part 1. Normally I tried to go into like the UA entrance exam for my part 1s, but I don't think that's needed right now. So, yeah. Who cares? I'm doing it anyway. The 10-month time skip happened. because honestly, I explained everything that happened. He got more special grade curses and is now in front of Yui. Huh. So this is where the best hero school begins. This is gonna be good. As he walked in, he was getting some side glances from some of the other students, or soon-to-be students. Because, again, what he did to the sludge villain was seen by everyone. So, yeah. He looked at one of them and said, "Stop staring." Then they all stopped. Now during the test, Izuku was doing good. He understand everything. So he generally passed that portion of the exam. But for the 4 robots being explained, Ida said he went on the way saying how disappointed he is, that's not how it should go, and blah blah blah. But when it got to Izuku, he said, wait, did I? Okay. And he said, and you should not be here for what you did, oh? And why shouldn't I? Because last I checked, this is a hero school and anyone can enter. But you... Oh, and I am sure they know what I did. If they are as thorough as everyone believes they are, they should know what I did back then. So why don't you shut it and do not bug me? Ito was upset about that. Whatever, you don't lose, fail anyway. We'll see about that, Izuku said to himself. And when it was finally time, he saw that a girl was nervous. He started walking towards her, but then Ida grabbed his shoulder and said, "What are you doing? Are you trying to distract her?" Izuku tried to be nice this time, said, "What? No, I'm trying... Oh, don't try to trick me, villain." Just by saying that simple sentence, Izuku lost it. A massive blast of killing intent could be sensed just from Izuku. Everyone around him seemingly couldn't move, and President Mike, who was on top of the wall, could barely stand. "Call me that again, and you won't like what happens," he says. Huh! Threatening a student as well? Huh! You should not be. If you say I should not be here, then take it up with the principal. I'm staying. As he whacked away Ida's hand, he walked up to a brunette-haired girl and asked her, "Is she okay?" He wasn't really paying attention, and Izuku was making sure not to have his bloodlust even near her. "Oh, yeah. I'm alright," the brunette-haired girl said. "Just a bit nervous." "Yeah. Hey, just remember this. If you do good enough, even if you have low points, you still have a chance to get into UA." "Really?" "After all, making sure people are safe, as well as being the robots, are also a priority." "Wait, because remember, these are villain points." Then I could get what Izuku was trying to say. They're hero and villain points. So if she can save people as well as defeat enough robots, she should be good. Huh. Okay. When the test began, President Mike started out. Let us begin in 3, 2. The doors opened, and Izuku instantly grabbed Uraka's shoulder and started to rush in with her. Then she started to realize, wait, there's no countdowns in real battle, so Ida had a smile on his face and saying, "Sir, that you didn't finish. They should be disqualified." Ida thought that would get Izuku out because of the countdown. Huh, there's no countdown in this. Ugh. But when they entered, they saw that a lot of robots were destroyed, as well as anytime a robot got near Izuku, Ochako defended him, and anytime a robot got into her blind spot, it was seemingly just randomly destroyed. But the point still went to Izuku. Time skipped about a minute or two. Huh, it seems like these kids are doing well. Yes. Oh? It seems like a few robots are just randomly being destroyed. So how is this Izuku Midoriya kid still getting those points? Maybe it's his quirk or something. Whatever it is, he seems to be doing good at it. Yes, it is. Aizawa said, impressive. What? You wasted just complimenting somebody. Is the world ending? Mike said. Shut it, Mike. Well, I think it's time to release the zero pointer. As Nezu slammed down on the button. What is it? Both Orca and Izuku feel the ground shake. What the? They both looked up and see it was a giant zero pointer. He saw that a few students were stuck under rubble. None my normal sized ones should. Luckily, I visited that cemetery a while back, as well as that old abandoned battlefield. He then released a lot of energy, and a giant black vortex could be seen behind him. And I do mean seen, because, again, if he released a lot of energy, it can be seen. And what released was this. Basically, this is someone else's version of a Gashi Dokuo. Basically, it's basically a mythological creature of a battlefield, or yokai, that happens when someone disrespects a dead fighter or something else. I believe that's correct. Yeah. So and since it was a giant robot and too many people were there, he decided to use this. He then instantly balled his hand into a fist and brought it up. And the Gashodokuo put his hand on the ground and released a lot of bone spikes through the ground, hitting the zero pointer, destroying it and stopping it from moving. Then a black vortex surrounded the Gashodokuo, bringing it back into its void. Izuku was panting because that thing takes a lot of energy to summon. Well, I did pretty good, he said, exhausted, laying on the ground. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. He had a hard time standing up, and he could still stand. Well, and President Ike's voice could be heard saying, "Okay, everyone, that's the end. You'll get your letter within a week. Hopefully, most of you pass." While Izuku started to leave, Ochako asked, "What was that you summoned?" The Gashodokuo. Her eyes widened because now she realized who this was. Because before, if you know Chaco's family, you know they aren't really in the most stable condition. So they couldn't really get the news channel sometimes. But she could be heard that someone summoned the Slitmouth woman. So, yeah. As he walked off, she realized, wait, I never got your name. But she was too tired from using her clock so much. Here. This should give you your energy back, Recovery Girl said. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. Well, that's the end of part one. I would have to say Izuku is in. Let's see. He has about. Give me a sec. Okay. So I would have to put Izuku's cursed grade status into semi first grade. What that is, it's higher than a second grade sorcerer, but lower than a first grade sorcerer. So yeah. Well, hope you all liked part one of what if Deku had Geto's abilities. This is Domain Expansion Modus. Signing off.